Hello friends, and welcome to my channel for another action figure review video. This is one I am incredibly excited about. This is probably my most anticipated action figure ever. I'm a huge Superman fan. It's how and why I got into making comics full-time as a professional. Clark Kent turning into Superman has always been like a very specific thing that I've loved about Superman and the whole mythology. I used to wear my Superman pajamas underneath my clothes so I could rip the shirt open when I was a little kid. Now we have a figure that encapsulates that, so I'm really excited to check it out. This is the MUFF Toys Protector of Metropolis, and this is the International Edition. This was on the plastic. The standard version came with a blue suit and a white shirt and a red and blue striped tie. So it's very much like the classic Clark Kent from the comics. This, I believe, is based on what he wore, I want to say in BVS, as Henry Cavill's Clark Kent. This cover art I really like. I think this was a cover to one of the Superman comics in the last few years that they repurposed. Unlicensed, of course. That's why it's not called Clark Kent or Superman. I couldn't be more excited. So I'm going to quit yapping about it and we're going to open it up and take a look at it. So it's a collector-friendly box that opens up, like a gift box. I don't think it's even taped shut. No, so I mean, you just slide it open and there it is. So this is what we have inside. There are two trays. You've got the figure and the accessories, and then you've got the hands and some of the extra clothing. So we're going to do a first look, and then we'll get all the stuff laid out and take a look at what he comes with. So on a first look, I mean, this is just really nicely done. When they teased this version of it, I was like, oh my God, how do we get that? The way I obtained mine, and I don't know if they're going to make this more widely available later, but if you pre-ordered it, they offered this up as a variant for like a few dollars more. And we'll talk about the differences in a minute here. I love the standard version, but it's a little cartoony for my liking. What I loved about this is it's like a realistic looking Superman Clark Kent, but it's not based on any specific actor or anything. It's just like if you distilled the comic book version of Superman into a kind of a realistic looking format, I feel like this is what, this is a really good approximation of that. And that's exactly what I've always wanted. So when I saw this one teased at one of the Hong Kong toy shows, I was like, I got to get that one. That's exactly what I want. And thankfully they made it nice and easy. And so here he is. All right, here's Clark and all of the package contents laid out in front of us here. We've got a vast array of hands, a camera, glasses, an alternate head, as well as a hat. And if you want to have him holding the hat, he comes with his trench coat. There are some other items here, spare buttons, a briefcase, newspapers. So we'll take a look at this in closer detail here. So yeah, a lot of nice accessories. I really like the glasses. One of my only gripes is that they only give you one pair. And these are very small, they're very lightweight, and they'd be very easy to lose or bend. They're made of metal, but it's very, you can see how thin it is. The camera is really nice. We've got a little press badge, and then, like I said, several different kinds of hands. You've got hands that will hold a newspaper, hands that will hold his glasses in different positions. You've got a couple pairs of hands to hold his shirt open in different positions, and you've got a couple of closed fists, as well as the relaxed hands that come on the body. So first up, we've got the blue undershirt for his Superman suit. Now, it comes with two, each figure does. The other one on this one, I'll show you in a minute, but it comes with this light blue sleeveless one. I really like the way that this S shield is kind of overlaid on there. It's like a 3D, very slightly raised 3D kind of thing. I think it's vinyl. Very clean, very nicely printed, and it feels substantial, and it looks good. Next, we've got extra buttons, buttons for his sleeves, buttons for his coat. We've got his briefcase. I just made one of these for a custom Clark Kent on my channel. And this one it's so nicely done, and it blows the other one I made away. But, I handmade that one. This is actually, factory made, 3D sculpted, all that stuff. It looks really nice. I like the paint details on the clasp. And then you've got the little newspapers here. I'm not a big fan of when they print comic book art on, it comes with a figure that doesn't look anything like the comic book art. It looks, obviously cartoony. I mean, I see Jim Lee, I see Adam Hughes, I see Ed McGuinness here. So not my favorite thing, but it's a nice little detail, and you don't have to use it if you don't want to. We've got his trench coat. This thing is really nicely made. It has a wire that runs basically from the bottom of that lapel fold all the way through the back, and then it does the same thing on the other side. The belt here is not wired, so that is a little frustrating just because it just kind of wants to hang there. You can't really do anything with it, but you can kind of manipulate it a little bit and get it in different positions. But very nicely made raincoat. The material is like just the right thickness, nicely stitched. And then this is cool. They give you a baggie with some shirt sleeves so that you can have his shirt sleeves poking out from underneath his jacket. And they give you a spare tie that's wired, as well as a pair of tweezers. Now, you're definitely going to need tweezers to tweak this guy and his clothing and stuff. So it's very cool that they added these in the package. And then we've got this little camera he comes with. The lens has a nice little kind of gel gloss look to it. The details are really impressive. It's very, very high definition, nice paint apps, like it's nice and clean. And like the little ring, a little black ring at the front of the lens, like that's a difficult thing to do that precisely. And then we've got his press badge. Same issue I have with the newspaper. This is art from like a comic and not a photo. But on the back side, you have like a little printed thing with the Daily Planet graphic and Perry White's signature. Not like anyone they'd have to show that to would be like, oh, Perry White says it's okay. Please come in. Like, we'd be like, who? I don't know who your boss is. All right, getting in close with the Superman head sculpt. And I just love this. I really, really like the way they did this. It's like pretty realistic, but it's got a slight sort of stylization to it. I love the hair. I think they did a really nice job. You can see there's some actually blue tint to it, which is kind of cool. It's got a nice 5 o'clock shadow. The eyes are painted really well. The mouth. The jaw is a little bit square, but I like that. I think, it's a good Superman look. I think the tweed is really impressive. I've never seen tweed at this scale before. Looks like I'm missing a button there. I'll have to use one of the spare ones to glue a new one on, but yeah, I mean, the collar's right a little bit high, and I think I can tweak that a bit with some double stick tape. So I'll be applying that as I go. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I really like the way they did this suit. Little pockets detailed in here. You got the taper lines on the back of the suit. They're very symmetrical. They made him wide in the shoulders on the jacket, but that was to accommodate for some of the stuff that you're going to have to do on this. I like they give him a little pleather belt with a real buckle. That's nice. I like the cut of the pants. They don't ride too low. That happens a lot in 1/12 scale. We've got sculpted socks in here. I like to do a sock check on my suited, like real clothes figures. Nice little shoes on there too. So yeah, head to toe, I think this thing is looking pretty good. And now for the other main difference between this version and the standard version. They both come with the Superman costume, suit underneath. However, this version, the regeneration suit under it. So this is very cool. However, I really wanted the other blue one because my plan is to make a custom Superman using this head and one of the S shields. And I could paint this one, but it's going to look much better if I have the one that is just already made in those colors. But yeah, I like the way they did this. I think this is pretty cool how it's like a sleeveless shirt. And then the spare sleeves it comes with are the cuffs that go on top of this. So he can look like he's wearing a long sleeve shirt underneath the coat, but without hindering the articulation by adding an extra layer on top of this one. Yeah, this is really cool. And the way that they've done this is like it's a fully tied tie. I think it's a half Windsor knot. So this one does not have a wire in it. Okay, so the jacket's back on. We're going to take a look at articulation. Starting with the head, full 360 swivel. You can look up that far, which is not far. You can look down, whoa, pretty far. Of course, the neck bulges out there, but he's still pegged in there. So the neck is fixed in place. You do get a good range of motion at the top of the neck, but unfortunately the neck does not move with it. And he can tilt side to side like that, which is pretty good. With the jacket, arms go up to there and go forward and up about like that. You do start to get bunching, but that's normal. Back to there, same bunching issue. But the jacket, I mean, I think it looks pretty good despite the fact that it's doing all that. Like it's pretty realistic the way that it moves with all this. I have to study folds in clothing a lot for drawing comics, and yeah, this is pretty on point. Ab crunch, pretty decent. You can't see all of it because of the coat. Whoa, he can go back very far. You can feel it. You can twist very far. And the way that they've tucked the shirt in or you know, like it definitely comes loose. So you do have to have some tweezers, and that's why they give you some. I would recommend getting some that have like a blunted end like this. This is part of a big, I don't know, like 15 pack or something I have. I'll put a link in the description below where you can get it on Amazon, but I use these for everything, like especially this pair because they don't have any sharp ends on them to snag anything. So, you know, it's not going to cut you or anything, and you can, you know, do this without worrying about creating runs in the fabric. Torso tilt side to side. Again, you know, the jacket's kind of obscuring it, but he's getting some pretty good range of motion there. We've got a swivel at the waist as well. And then legs, you go pretty far. And then let's see what back does. Yeah, I think they kind of have the standard little like butt flap that stops them from going too far backward, but that's pretty good, especially if you know, add a bended leg in there. Like that's not bad at all. Double jointed knees get you pretty far up. You know, it's Superman, so there a lot of these aren't things you're going to be doing regularly. I decided to put some gloves on because my fingertips are all dry and cracked from working with my hands a lot, and so I don't want to like create any snags on any of this. Double jointed elbows, I forgot to mention, get you up to there, so that's pretty good. You can see a bit of a discrepancy in the skin tone because the hands are painted and the body is not, but he does have his shirt sleeves, you know, so you can put those on and you won't see that. The standard version comes with a white shirt, so you have white shirt sleeves to put on there as well. Back to the legs. Pants hinder the splits, but he could do them, but it's Superman, so you don't need to be doing splits. I don't think it actually has thigh swivel. I think it just rotates on the ball peg in there. And then the foot can go 360 all the way around. It is actually just pop that off pretty easily. Standard little dumbbell joint in there. So tips forward to about there, and then up doesn't go very far without popping off. But I imagine you can still get your good Clark Kent running poses pretty easily. So got him here without his overshirt on. So I just wanted to show what he looks like underneath. This is a very nicely tailored super suit top. I'm sure they're going to do a full-on Superman figure. I can't see why they wouldn't. They already have the head and a decent body. They left this kind of swooping low, I think, so that you could still put a jacket and shirt layers on him and it wouldn't look too tall. This S, the silver and black one, is a little bit larger than the red and blue one. I wish the red and blue one was that size. Maybe it is on the long sleeve version of this, but you can see the size difference there. It's quite a bit bigger. I do like a larger chest emblem, so I'm a little bummed about that, but I still think this looks great. And I really love the cut of the collar here. That is a #1 area where a lot of Superman figures and designs fail for me. Like, I love the Tyler Hoechlin CW Superman, but I hate that they give him this like really tight crew neck, and in later seasons they loosened it up and I think it looks a lot better. So yeah, this is like perfect to me. And if you have a cape sticking out right there, like I mean, that's it. But yeah, it looks like this is a one-off body for this thing, which I think is pretty cool. All right, one more stop to take a look at the body underneath, and I really like this sculpt. I like how minimally invasive the torso cut is. I like that it's got butterfly shoulders. You can see where they've airbrushed some kind of reddish pink onto the skin. You can actually see where it cuts right there. So they did, you know, weather the neck so that you get a little bit of like more human look to it, which I think is cool. Yeah, I really like this body. It's not cartoonish. It's like perfectly, I think, proportioned and muscular for like a realistic take on Superman. Another thing they did that I really like is at the top on the neck, it's actually folded over and glued, and that is what gives it that nice shape and that nice edge so that it's not frayed and stuff at the edges. I think they did a really nice job with that. I also want to point out that the sleeves, when they're on the figure, they're not too bulky. Like, they found a really nice material to use for this and a really nice way to keep it low profile. If you compare that to like the Mezco Christopher Reeve Superman, he's got these huge cuffs because when they fold the fabric over on itself. And it's so funny because you see these third-party companies that are unlicensed making way better figures than the companies that actually have the license. They're doing a great job. So, you know, word to the wise, put the closed fists on when you put this on. Otherwise, the wrist pegs will snag on the material, and I didn't want that to happen, so I swapped these out real quick. All right, time for some size comparisons. This guy's pretty tall. Here he is next to the Maniple Henry Cavill Superman on the left and the Gong Studio Kingdom Come Superman on the right. We got a Maniple, Man Nipple, and we got a MUFF toy here, so I don't know what's going on with these companies, but I wanted to try leveling a ruler on top. I didn't get it completely level here, but this gives you an idea just of kind of like how different they actually are next to each other. And then next up, we've got him next to a knockoff of the Mezco BVS Superman that I customized to be like a Red Sun version a long time ago. It's not very good, but same size as the Mezco Superman. And then on the right, we have the BMS V-Toys Kingdom Come Superman. And again, not quite perfectly level, but the V-Toys one is pretty close in height. And the hat probably bumps them up a little bit. I think if it was just the Superman head, they'd probably be pretty level with each other. And finally, here he is with my custom Christopher Reeve Clark Kent. This is in a video on the channel that is a very recent upload as of this video. So check that out. And I also have it shown off next to my custom Christopher Reeve Superman by Mezco. So as you saw there, I took that Kingdom Come Superman body by V-Toys and BMS, and I put that spare Superman head on it. And then here, this is a custom I made out of that same figure a little while ago. I turned it into like the younger Alex Ross version of Superman. And so I basically just did a head swap with this new MUFF Toys head. And this to me is perfect. I think this is like a perfect looking Superman. And I still plan to make a custom using the spare shirt. I ordered one of the blue ones that comes with the standard version. I found a guy selling it loose because mine came with that black regeneration suit version, and I wanted both the blue ones. So I've got that one on the way, and when I get it, I'm planning to make a custom using it to some degree. I'm not sure if I can match the color of the shirt with some pants, so I may end up being just exactly what you see here with the MUFF Toys S on the chest instead of the Kingdom Come version. But yeah, in the meantime, this guy is on my desk, and he's just going to keep me company while I work for a while, because this is all I ever wanted. Like, this is my ideal definitive 1/12 scale soft goods Superman. Like, I'm done once I finish the custom version with the MUFF S on it. And the reason I'm doing that specifically is because I plan to have a little display that I'm going to make where it's going to be a phone booth. So I'm going to build a phone booth, which I'm really excited about because I've been wanting to do that forever. And Clark Kent is going to be inside it, opening his shirt up, and then next to it is going to be Superman posted up, flying off. And it's going to be kind of a little 1-2, almost like a little 2-panel comic. And I can't wait. That's going to be my definitive Superman display. I've got my custom Daily Planet rooftop diorama shelf that I've shown on the channel before, that's got my Gong Studio Kingdom Come Superman, my custom CW Tyler Hoechlin Superman, my other Maniple Henry Cavill Superman, and then my custom Sasha Calle Supergirl from The Flash. So that's my sort of catch-all Superman display, but this one's going in something specific because this is all I ever wanted in a Superman figure, and I'm so pumped. Yeah, I mean, what a perfect looking Superman. I'm just so hyped on this. So let's look at the two of them together. I've got Clark in his full trench coat now. It was definitely a little bit harder to get him to open the shirt with the trench coat layer on, so that's something to consider. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. I haven't had this much fun playing with action figures in a long time. I spent a long time today just doing different poses and trying stuff out, and yeah, it was a good time, and I'm looking forward to doing more off camera. I wanted to make a video of this. There's a lot of reviews of this already, not as many of this version with the dark suit, but they're popping up. But I wanted to share my opinion and my take on it with you all, as well as this custom that I wanted to do. And ultimately, if you're a fan of Clark Kent and Superman, in figure form, especially, like, I would recommend this. I'm not here to sway you or influence you. I don't consider myself an influencer. I'm an artist with, a channel where I share stuff that I make and stuff that I get. But if you had any questions about it, hopefully this answered them, and hopefully you feel informed about this figure if you do want to get it. So yeah, that's going to do it for me for this one, guys. I really appreciate y'all watching as usual. Your support means a lot. If you would hit that like button, that helps feed the algorithm. You know, we live by algorithms these days, unfortunately, but that is what helps the video get seen in other people's feeds and gets the channel to come across their timelines more easily. I would love it if you'd subscribe and join me. We've got a growing community where we talk a lot about figures, and you know, we're all up in the comments. I answer everybody, and we get some nice conversations going. So I really appreciate everybody who chimes in. And yeah, let me know if you got this one. You know, I'm curious how many people actually like were aware this was coming out and picked it up. And if you did get it, did you get the standard version or this international version, I think they called it? Yeah, I think either way is a win, honestly. I mean, this is a great figure. So yeah, like, subscribe, leave me a note if you want, and if you would be so kind as to stay tuned for the next minute or so, I've got a little bumper at the end that talks about some of the graphic novels that I've written and drawn that I have available. So that's going to do it. Until next time, keep your head on swivel. So that is going to do it for this video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I invite you to click the like button and hit subscribe and join me as I make cool stuff. Custom figures, dioramas, vehicles to go with the figures. I review new stuff that I get on the channel. If you're looking for other ways to support this, I've got t-shirts available. My Head on Swivel shirt, as well as several other action figure and comic book themed shirts, are available in my Redbubble shop. If you've never used Redbubble, it's pretty great. You pick the color shirt, the style, and the design you want, and they ship it right to you. Now, if you're not a t-shirt person, but you like comics, I've got several comics and graphic novels available, namely my books High Crimes, Count, and Retroactive. High Crimes is kind of Breaking Bad meets Cliffhanger. Retroactive is like James Bond meets Groundhog Day, and Count is my sci-fi reimagining of the Count of Monte Cristo. Think kind of a, John Wick meets Batman meets Zorro. It's a cool story with swashbuckling action and sword fights and vehicle chases, and it's about redemption, revenge, and revolution. So those are all available at your local comic shop, bookstore, or at the links in the description below. So to everyone who's picked up a shirt already or one of my books, thank you so much. It means the absolute world to me. I really, really appreciate it. It really helps make it so that I can do this kind of stuff and bring you more videos. Couldn't ask for anything more, so thank you. So that is going to do it for this one. Until next time, keep your head on swivel.